Welcome to Cardigan Bay Fishing Adventures. For anyone that may not have seen the channel before, my name is David Barber. Today we are working on the NAB 17 restoration project. You can see it right there. Been working on the hull, getting all the hull sorted, which you would have seen in the last video. This is sort of an update video. We've got a bit of work to do. Run into quite a big problem, and it's become a bigger problem, unfortunately. There's just nothing I can do. It's boats. I'm hoping I can fix it. I don't know. Basically, we'll get straight into the video. No point waffling too much, so let's crack on. You won't be able to see me too well in this angle, but as you can see, this part of the hull is absolutely perfect, but you can probably see an issue right there. If I stand back, you can probably see that gap there that's been opened up. Just in case you don't know, this brown stuff is gel coat. It's like a 1980s boat, maybe even around 1970s, late 1970s, early 1980s. And this would have been the gel coat originally. That's the colour of it, a brilliant colour in it. But when I was sanding the paint off, all of this, which now it does look amazing, but I noticed quite a long crack right along here. We've actually got a little bit of cracking in the gel coat here. The crack here was severe. If I would have gone and painted over that crack, eventually it would have come back through. So what I've had to do is I had to grind out the gel coat, which you can see here in this whole area. This is how far the crack run. So what I did, I've got the flap disc on the grinder and I've gently ground it all out to get back down to the bare fiberglass. There's an issue, mega issue. I will show you later on in the video. But what we're going to do now is fiberglass this back up. We're going to rebuild this corner here and basically just re-glass it. Get it nice and smooth, get it nice and flat, and get it ready for paint. So that's what we're doing in today's video. We're going to fix this area. If you've got a keen eye, you can probably see where the mega problem is. I'm hoping I can fix it. So what I'm going to do is get the matting all ripped up, get everything ready, get the resin mixed, show you how to do all of that. And we're going to get into repairing this area, or trying to repair it. So as you can see now, this area has all been cleaned really well with acetone. So basically now I'm going to rip the matting, get some chop strand matting, and I'm going to rip it to the shape of this. This is quite a big drop from the gel coat to the original fiberglass here. So what I'm going to do is build it back up, try and level it out, and then I can use some filler and stuff and smooth it out, match it back up to this, and get it ready for paint. So yeah, let's get all this preparation done now. I'll show you all the preparation parts. I just wanted to give it a really quick good scrub with acetone first. I probably will give it another quick wipe before we start putting the resin on. I'm going to get everything set up on the table over there for mixing, everything basic. I'll show you all of it, and then we'll fiberglass this area. So what I've done now, I've pre-torn all the matting, and you'll see it here. This is 450 GSM chop strand matting, but you can see here I've got loads of little pieces. So the first little piece is going to go over that hole, then we've got another little piece to go over, and we've got another piece to go over. On top of that, we've got a bigger layer to cover this whole area, so that's going to go on top of there, and then we've got another 2 layers right here pre-ripped. The reason why I'm ripping the edges like this, it helps it to feather out. If you leave it, I don't know if I've got any around here to show you. If you leave it as the straight edge, which we should have on this matting, big roll of matting. Yeah, this side here, if you look at that side, we've got a hard edge on it, look. This, you cannot hide. It doesn't feather out well. It takes a lot of sanding work. So what you need to do is rip all the way around of the chop strand. So yeah, we've ripped all around the edges, so that's ready to go. So what we're going to do now, mix up the resin, coat this area in resin, and start going through the process of fiberglassing it. So let's get on with it. So what we've got here is resin, and I've got it straight into a roller tray. The reason why, if you leave it in the tub, it goes off quicker because it's deeper and it generates more heat. This is leveled out a bit more. What we're going to do quickly is coat the areas where we're putting the fiberglass matting on. So first of all, I'm going to be here. So I just want to wet this area out quickly and start getting the matting on. I don't want to hang about because I've mixed this resin hot, as they call it. It's 2%. Normally I only mix it at 1%. So I'm going to just gently dab this in place because I don't want it to sink into that hole. It's not going to need a lot on this, it's a little piece, and I'm going straight on top of it now with more. So I am slightly oversaturating this, which is fine because I'm going to be using the consolidation roller and stuff. So slightly bigger piece of mat. And this is the process. I don't want to force it in there, otherwise it's going to sink into that hole. We want to keep it as flat as possible. Obviously we will be fiberglassing inside, but not today. Want to make sure we've got enough resin on here. Otherwise you'll have dry spots, which is a bad thing. So how big is the next piece? So we've got that size for the next piece. So what I'm going to do is just wet that area out and then we can get that on. This matting as well, this matting is two-sided. If you look this side, the fibres are standing up more, and this side has like a shiny coating on it, it's pretty flat. What you want to do is put that side down. You can use it either way, it just makes it a bit more difficult because the fibres stand up. Like this now, these fibres will not stand up. So, I'm going to go over to that area there like that again. Dab it into place. Because I've pre-soaked the area, the underside of that mat is already soaking, which is good. It saves me a bit of work. So all I've got to do is dab it in. Get the mat wet out nicely. And you don't want to be dabbing too hard in the corners on them edges because you just start stretching the matting. So what you want to do is lay it down like this, gently. Obviously not working too slowly as well. And make sure you wet it out nice. You can oversaturate it, but at this stage now, we are okay because we've got another 2 layers of mat going on top. If this was the finished layer right here, you won't want to be banging this much resin on because you're going to oversaturate it and it'll be too resin rich, as they call it. So now we've got that on, this looks all really nice to me, it's well saturated. So what I'm going to do is coat the whole area and we'll start getting the mat on top. Before we get that mat on top, what I'm going to do is just roller this area quickly with a consolidation roller, which is this. It's a little thin roller and it's just going to help to push any air out, push any bubbles out, and yeah, get you a better finish. So what we're going to do is drag down this way. There's not much tension, I'm not putting much pressure on, as you can see. It's literally just to pull any excess resin out, and you can see the difference in that. The matting is laying down, it's going more translucent. But what you're going to find when you pull down, you're pulling it out to this edge. So what you need to do now is in the corner and roll upwards. Just like this. This is totally fine, there's hardly any air in there, there's not too much excess resin. So we are fine with this, to be honest. So now, the next piece of big mat, right here. So we're going to put that on next. So I'm going to wet this area out before we put it on. We're going to use the roller, it's quicker. So what you need to do, really get this roller saturated in resin. You can see how much quicker that is to get it on the area. On big areas, you can even use this roller to put the matting on. To be honest, I've mixed way too much resin for this, but I've not done it for a while, so I wasn't sure how much I was actually going to need. But yeah, I've definitely mixed too much. So what I'm going to do is just coat up to the edge of the gel coat. I want to try my best to keep this mat off the gel coat, because I've got to have to just grind it back out. So now, get in the position I need. Gently dab it down. I need to move over a touch. So what I'm gonna have to do once this is finished, around this edge, I'm gonna have to sand it all back and like match it in basically. So we're at that stage. Get the little roller. This is just a paint roller, a short fibre one. Soak it with resin, roll it on. It just speeds it all up a hell of a lot. It's just to soak the mat in quickly with the resin, because this resin is going off and it's going off fast. So the faster you spread it out, the better, because it heats up slowly. It doesn't heat up as quick. So what I'm going to do now is come in with a brush and do the areas that you can't reach with the roller. Get it all soaked up nicely. Get it all saturated nicely. You could use Roven Woven in this area, but this is not a structural repair as such. Yes, there's a little hole which I'm repairing, but this is more, I'm using it more as a filler, if you want to call it that. And now you can see these fibres standing up here. Don't try and do that, because it's not going to work. What you need to do is soak the edge first. Let the resin get into the corner, on the corner of it. And what it'll do, it'll soak the fiberglass and it'll help it lay down. But if you try and stick the top down straight away, it's not going to stick down. It's just going to keep standing up and you'll get frustrated with it. So soak the mat in right on that corner first. Once that's very well soaked and the resin starts to break the matting down, it'll fold over nicely. As you'll see right now, we won't have any problems laying this down. And any strands that are standing up after, once it's dry, we can just hit that with a sander and knock them off. So you can see it's pretty easy to fiberglass as long as you've got everything set up right. Be prepared, get everything in place, rip your matting ready, clean the area, and as soon as you start mixing that resin, you need to be ready to go. You don't want to be running around your garage or your shed looking for tools to do the job. So you can see now that's all gone down nicely. There's nothing really standing up and it looks fine. Here we've got a bit of a dry area, so we'll just dab over that quickly. And what we'll do now, consolidation roller again. So what this is helping to do is break up the matting and get the resin through it. And any excess resin will be pushed out. This area right now is very wet, right here, but that mat's got to go on top, so it's not the end of the world. There's not a hell of a lot of force on this, and I'm sort of pushing up and pulling down, putting a bit of pressure down. So up gently, pull down, up gently, pull down. Obviously, it's just in fast motion. Sorry about the squeak on the roller. So this is looking nice. I'm happy with the way this is looking. This area would be difficult to sand, but it's only a small area. So now, same again on this piece. I'm trying to be fast because this resin's going off very quickly and I want to get it all on and in place before it starts to set up on me. So that's it, we get the next piece on now. So you can see, if you've got everything organised, it goes smoothly, it goes well. So that piece is there, just like this. And just dab it into place with your fingers. And there we go, same again now. So as you can see, this is now complete. What I've done at the top, I did actually forget to mention it in the video, but this is surface tissue. Basically, I've just put that on just to help this surface flatten out. It gets rid of the lumpy bumpiness that you get from the chop strand, and it'll just make it a lot easier to prep and a lot easier to finish. Once this starts to set off, I can just tear this edge off. Same up there, I can just tear it off. I can lightly sand it to feather it in, and then I'll have a little light skim of filler over the top, and yeah, it'll be nice. This I'm quite happy with. I am going to have to use filler along here just to get it a nice profile. You'll struggle to do that with glass. So yeah, this is it. It's the area's repaired basically. What I will do, obviously, like I said, the boat will be flipped back at some point, and before I install the new deck, I am going to have to cut out this section of stringer, and I'm going to have to reinforce the inside of the hull, and then I have to just fiberglass that stringer section back in. And that won't be too difficult to do because it'll be tabbing basically, it'll be all right. It's just frustrating that I've got to do it, but it's got to be done properly. I can't cut corners, it's got to be right. As you can see with the rest of the boat, this is all sanded now. It's a very nice finish, it's really good. This has been basically layered up, it's been reinforced. There was a keel band on here. I'm only explaining this in case you're new to the channel, but the keel band's actually out of shot just over there. There was a keel band on here. There's been holes drilled straight through the boat. It's just a metal band to reinforce it. I don't personally like them. If you've got screws or bolts going through the hull, they can work loose and they leak. They always leak eventually. I prefer this, so it's sealed, it's solid fiberglass. Yes, it can get knocked and damaged, but it's not gonna work loose, if you know what I mean. So yeah, from there to there, all of this was reinforced all the way back. The rear end, the stern of the boat, was heavily reinforced with woven and chop strand and all sorts. There is a video on this if you want to go back and watch it, of prepping it all and doing all the glass work. All of this has been sanded everywhere, it's all been done. So basically this just needs more prep work now. Areas like this, going to need a little bit of filler. Any pinhole sort of areas like here, that needs filler. So yeah, just a light skim of filler over from there all the way down, and then I'll sand over everything with 120 grit and get it ready for paint technically. I'm not sure if I should leave it like this and paint it, or whether to flip it back, finish the whole boat and then spray the whole boat in one go. I'm thinking the second option is going to be better, rather than spraying all of this, trying not to damage it, trying to protect it and everything like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me know in the comments actually, what do you think? Should I spray the boat like this here, then flip it back, rebuild the inside and then spray the inside? Or do I rebuild the whole boat so it's complete and then spray it all in one go? So that's it really, there's not much else I can show. It's just a small repair in that area. Sort of an update video showing you the repair, letting you know what's going on. The boat restoration is still going ahead, it's just very slow. Like I said earlier, family, work, funds as well, that comes into it. It's a big expense rebuilding a boat. It costs a lot of money when you go into this level. If I was just slapping a bit of paint on quickly, job done, it wouldn't be that bad. But I've spent over £1,000 in fiberglass, so it's expensive, and I've also got 3 kids to feed. So this is a little bit on the back burner sometimes, but I have no choice, it's just the way it has to be. My goal is to have this finished this year. I want this boat built and painted this year, that's my goal. Whether I get it painted this year, I don't know, because the weather is so up and down, and I've got to spray it in an open shed. But I do really want this boat done. I want it flipped back. I want to put the cuddy on, flybridge on, get the deck in, and I want it being a boat basically. I want it to look like a boat, and all it needs then is the engine, the boat painting, then the engine bolting on, then the stainless steel, the electrics, all that comes after. But I want to get the boat complete, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't want to keep waffling, it just spoils the videos. So yeah, this is what the NAB 17 looks like at the moment. The next stage after this now is fill it everywhere, wherever it needs filler. Sand it with 120 grit all over and basically get it ready for primer. I'll make a decision then, see what you lot say in the comments, but I'll make a decision then whether I'm going to flip the boat back, carry on building it, or spray it first. I'm thinking I'm just going to flip it over, get it on the trailer and just rebuild the inside. That's what I'm thinking, then I'll just spray everything in one go at the end. I don't know, it's a hard choice, isn't it? I don't know. Right then everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you picked up a little few tips with that fiberglassing. If you are new to the channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe, please. These videos will keep coming. There's fishing videos, there is all sorts. Also, dropping likes on videos is really helpful. Obviously, you don't have to. I'm just kindly asking if everybody who watches would subscribe and would hit the like button. It would be amazing. You can also share the video if that's something you would like to do. It massively helps. I'll get packed up. I'll go and fetch the kids from school. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.